Catholic homeschool rant. Don't miss out on the fun. Hit subscribe button and join our community for more stories like this one. So, my parents made me go to school with a Catholic online homeschooling school thing. I hated it. People are bigots, conspiracy theorists, and just the worst side of the Catholic Church. So here is a long-ass rant about that cult of a school. Almost everyone was firmly anti-vaccine, homophobic, transphobic, and racist. LGBTQ people were called horrible things. The BLM movement was as well. They were also stupid on top of that. Had someone tell me that vaccines were a blood sacrifice to Satan. They ate up that ivermectin bullshit as well. One person wrote about how some women died from COVID, not because she denied a ventilator because those kill you, but because the doctors refused to give her ivermectin when she was in the hospital. Someone told me that organ donation was a conspiracy because doctors purposefully let organ donors die to steal their organs. There's so much bullshit, but what I originally came here to talk about was the rules implemented because of students' parents. You couldn't use pictures in presentations because some kids weren't allowed to use the internet. If you wanted the contact info of another student, only email, you had to ask your parents to ask the principal, who would then ask the parents of the other student if it was okay for them to have your email. As for specific stuff, my history/gov teacher talked about MGTO, makes fun of students if they have to leave class early, and is so fucking racist and bigoted. He said once that slavery was only bad because slaves were expensive and hard to replace. Therefore capitalism was better, because if someone can't work, you can just fire them and easily replace them. My English teacher firmly believed that Mary was around 14 when she got pregnant, and he called her his girlfriend, alongside Philomena, who was a martyr that died at 13. He was talking about how laws preventing minors from getting married were bad, because he knew plenty of 12-14-year-old girls who he thought were mature enough to get married. He also refused to believe that Mary was anything but white. Apparently, he watched some religious movie and thought the actor playing Mary was pretty, but he then photoshopped her to have blue eyes and lighter skin. He also was a dumbass who talked about insane miracles that you can simply Google, and they are shown to be absolute BS. My favorite one, being that Juan Diego's tilma, and how it was made of a completely unknown fabric, was declared to be alive by NASA, and if you zoomed into the eye of Mary, the random paint chips were actually Mary's view of the bishop and shit. Hated him, but he was an easy A, so I dealt with it. Another English teacher made us read Canterbury Tales. We had to write essays on how these two guys were gentlemen and good knights. Said, men were locked in prison and fell in love with a girl. Aka stalked her from their cell and decided to fight to the death over her, when she didn't even know them. There was also a story involving a woman who was being harassed by some guy who wanted to sleep with her while her husband was away. She told him that she would sleep with him when all the rocks on the coast of England disappeared. The guy gets some illusionist or something to make said rocks disappeared, then tried to make the girl sleep with him. There was a test on this that a lot of people failed, because you had to say it was the girl's fault for promising him sex, then refusing to. I brought it up in class, and another student even argued with the teacher about it with me. He just said that we should agree to disagree. At one point, one of the religion teachers, he was a priest, stopped showing up to class, and we just got recordings of him reading the slides. When I asked the school about it, they said things like, "Oh, he's busy, oh, he got into an accident, oh, he's sick." Apparently, he was actually fighting charges for sexually abusing an 8 or 10-year-old boy. Also 30+ other priests in the diocese were accused of sexual abuse too. I'm so glad to be done with that bullshit. That's all. Comments. I wonder what's worse, Catholic school or Catholic homeschool. At home at least, maybe some of the nepotism helps you. It sounds like you are still living with your parents. I know from personal experience that you will often be tempted to stand your ground and fight back on things you don't agree with. However, the power dynamic is totally in your parents' favor. They have the money and the power. I would honestly just keep playing the game and avoid battles that you will lose, simply because of the power dynamic. Every time I get a vaccination, I jokingly say, "Time to get the autism." I am already on the spectrum. Now I have to start saying, "Satan, my lord, please take my blood." Lol, these people are total nut jobs. Good luck, man. I was homeschooled up until high school, and then went to public school, side note, but if there's one thing I thank God for, it's being able to go to a public school. Because there's absolutely no way I would have been able to escape, or it would have been much harder anyways. I'm a junior at a public college now, and fully financially independent, so there's definitely a way out. I don't know what homeschooling software you did, but I went to an FSSB parish as a kid, and a lot of them all did the same homeschool site, some Marian name I don't know. Basically, as someone with what sounds like a similar background, I just wanted to tell you to keep your head up. It's hard and you'll probably be poor for a while, lol, but you can get out. Subscribe and hit the bell button for the best Reddit stories available.